This is ContactTalkRadio.com. Consciousness in action. And you are taking action into your consciousness by tuning into Contact Talk Radio.
And on TuneIn.com, Ping.fm, and UpSnap Mobile.
Contact Talk Radio.
Welcome to Spiritual Psychic with Sara Wiseman, where you'll learn how to unlock the secrets of spiritual intuition and your own psychic gifts. Here's Sara.
Welcome everyone to Visionary Psychics. I'm Sara Wiseman, and we're here with one of our visionary psychics, Shan MASSUCO. Welcome, Shan.
Thank you.
So nice to see you. So I've known Shan for quite a while, and one of the interesting parts of her journey is that she moved from East Coast to Taos, New Mexico a little while ago, and she's been able to create to return to her true essence as a worker with spirit and worker with the land. And she's got this amazingly beautiful place in Taos where she works in the sacred aspect of the energy there. So Shan, it was a long journey to get to Taos. How were you called? You were called, and tell us a little bit about what that felt like to you, or how you had this knowing that you were uprooting your whole life basically to do this new step.
Yeah, well, about 3 years before, you never can put your finger on the exact time that you started getting that urge. I'd been getting messages that I was to go in a different direction, but I didn't know what direction to go in. And I was always doing healing work my whole life, no matter what I was doing for a living. And so I was a hairdresser, so I was healing by the chair.
Yes.
While I was doing hair. And I think a year or two before I moved, I heard, "Why are you hiding behind the hair?" Mm-hmm. And I was like, "What do you mean I'm working?" But then synchronicities happened. And I started to hear things more dramatically. And then I was grappling with making the decision, because it's a big decision to turn your back or dismantle a business that you've been doing for 35 years.
Yeah.
But then COVID hit, and I was like, wow, okay. Because my thing was, everyone always wants to get their hair done. I never get affected by ups and downs in the market and all that. And so This 3D idea kept me in this business. And then COVID hit, and I had a decision to make. Am I going to thrive, or am I going to, give in to COVID? And so then it was very clear to me that there was the fork in the road, and I surrendered to it and said, I'm going to do it. And then everything just started falling into place. All these synchronicities, as to where I was going to live, out west. And then I visited, and it was made available to me to visit in the middle of COVID to Taos, New Mexico. And everything just started falling into place. I sold my house in one day. I dismantled my business. My daughter was settled, so it just all worked, and I've never regretted it. I'm really in this. This is an energy vortex, and my abilities have become a lot stronger, not being in the chaos or the frenetic energy of the East Coast.
Right. Well, and I remember in just kind of tracking along what was going on for you, like, I almost have never seen anybody do the move as fast. Like, the minute you decided in that fork in the road, the minute you committed, boom, everything just like here's your house, here's your place, here's your, and you even did a magical retreat on the land, like very soon after you got, like, you practically not even unpacked your house, and here you're putting on this retreat, and it
Yeah,
also felt, yeah, it
that
feels
was
like
really exciting.
you've resonated so much with the land and the spirit activity there, that it's like the vortex, the sacred vortex of this place has been calling you. Like it's maybe a past life place for you, or do you sense that resonance? Is that how you feel, like this is where I'm supposed to be?
Yeah, that's the only thing that can explain, because if you make a move like this, I only know New York and New Jersey. I've never lived anywhere else. I've visited places, but coming here, I always felt at home. And then I sort of saw deja vu experiences of me
Yeah,
riding horseback, and I don't ride horses this lifetime. Um, and I just knew places and where they were and how you can, you know, different back roads and different areas of
yeah.
Taos that no one told me. And I
Hmm.
just knew it. So I knew I had a past life here. And I did get a very clear message that I was going to be coming here and working on the land with the indigenous. And it's very funny how you think in your mind how that's going to look. But then when you get here and things unfold, it's so much, you know, it's different, but it's still the same concept. So
Yeah.
that first retreat was a little scary, but I'm accustomed to putting things together and running a business, so I was able to do it. And then just the people, places, and things fell into place for me to pull that off. And this past month, I just finished my second one.
Yeah. Yeah.
And there was a huge healing. There was a disruption about coming to Taos and working with the indigenous, and there's things going on, you know, in that community. There are deep wounds that I wasn't aware of that I became aware of, and then there actually was a conversation, and we were able to. There was a huge healing around this issue of indigenous and white people.
Hmm.
And they actually showed up at my retreat, and there was a huge healing ceremony. 3 of the elders and their children came. So
Uh,
you know, that's how it showed up. I thought, oh, I'm supposed to be going to the land and sitting and praying and meditating. But, you know, no, it was the conversation and the working through these deep wounds
yeah.
and then coming together as a community, as one,
Hmm.
that we're brothers and sisters. And that's what went on. So
That's
it
amazing.
was really profound.
Yeah, it feels like spirit has been, it's not that spirit wasn't active in your life before, but the series of events, these continual surprises, it's like it's super activated for you right now. You've always had such a deep gift with the departed. Do you find, are the departed different, or is it stronger for you in this more of this vortex area, or what is that like for you?
It's much stronger. I resonated with the departed back home, but it was really more for me. And
Hmm.
now it's really strong for me here, seeing myself as an Indian man or and even as an indigenous woman in other lifetimes. So I see that clearly here, and even the guides that have showed up to help assist me here are all indigenous. But also, it's really strong with my clients.
Hmm.
You know, even last week I did a session, and it was very clear that one of her ancestors were in the room and kept on cutting the phone line off and didn't want her to talk to me. And I'm like, what's happening? So she finally realized and left her apartment, and we were able to finish the conversation. And it was to bring awareness to something that she didn't want to pay attention to, and her ancestor was helping her, you know.
Hmm.
So
Hmm.
yeah, they come in much stronger here. It's this higher vibration is really where the gifts really resonate and come through much
Yeah,
stronger in this
yeah.
energy.
Well, and it might be, for somebody, Hawaii is the portal match for them. For other people, it could be back east, maybe, but we each, in finding these places that resonate with our being,
Right.
that's what you did. Um, in terms of what was I going to ask? Not the departed. Hmm. I was just sort of laughing when you said the departed. click out the phone lines, because that happens for me too. It's like, why is the connection not holding? Oh, it's the departed wanting to come through. In terms of feeling like the what I would call the elementals of the land, like here where I am in Oregon, there's lots of tree spirit and fairy spirit. And do you notice new spirits, maybe even not of this planet, in this sort of New Mexico area?
Yeah,
Are they different? Yeah.
it's much different. So I'm much more connected to the trees and the land, and definitely the river spirits. And most of my retreats were on rafts. We were called to go on rafts, and also we were called to go horseback riding this time for the animals to help assist in people that were coming to the retreats. But yeah, there's like a galactic aspect,
Yes.
really there is. And one of these several months ago, I went outside and I really saw a fleet of like UFOs, and I go,
Yeah.
oh no, I'm not really seeing that. Those are
Hmm.
stars. I still to this day make up excuses that this is not what I'm seeing with my eyes. And then a friend of mine had been working at a restaurant in Taos that night, and she texted me the next morning. She goes, "Did you hear what happened?" And I was like, "What?" She goes, "One minute I'm serving everybody on the patio, and then the next minute all we're doing is looking up."
Yeah.
And I said, "Why?" She goes, "Did you see the fleet?" Everybody saw
Yeah.
it, like a lot
Yeah.
of people saw.
Yeah.
So it's an awareness that this is actually, they are trying to reach out.
Hmm. Hmm.
Um, and I've had visions of spaceships, and even during one of your classes in one of
Hmm.
my timelines, I was like a tour guide on one of these ships
That's,
showing
yeah.
Egypt, and I've never been to Egypt.
Yeah.
So yeah, there is that aspect here,
Yeah.
definitely.
That's, I haven't been there, but I can sense that fully. Um, I think it's so interesting. All the people doing this work, in the groups that I run, or the people that you work with, or other people doing different systems, but that we bring these different awarenesses. Maybe some people are more mediums, some people are more healers, past lives, clairvoyance, uh, extraterrestrials, nature, spirit. Just kind of that this continues to open and open and open. Um, and now there are more of us. By us, I mean people that are sensitive to this kind of stuff. And it's so encouraging, because all this healing starts to happen. All these, we let go of the myth that we're separate from each other, and we start to connect more fully. And it's this very big evolution for humanity to have this awareness start to come forward.
Yeah,
Um,
I really agree. And from these retreats, I now feel like I found my soul family, and we're
yeah.
all connecting in these spirit circles, because a lot of them are just waking up, and some of us woke up a little earlier. And so we're just helping everybody,
Mhm.
get strong in their power and to understand that they're not crazy. And so that's the
Right.
profoundness of the work. And I really am so honored and humbled to do this work.
Yeah.
Um, it really is service work, and you know, people are being helped. We're all being helped in a really good way. People like yourself that have woken up before and then give us the permission to be who we are and to stand in that. And there's nothing wrong with it, and we're not crazy.
Right. Right. Well, it's like the whole world is set up on these linear, rational, patriarchal, old systems. And here we've got this wealth of resources, but don't follow in, we're coloring outside the lines here. And
Right.
uh, that's where a lot of the answers are. It's like we've outgrown the old systems. We're ready to dive into this new stuff. Or maybe it's not even new. Maybe we're just remembering what we used to know in
Yeah,
previous
we're just
lifetimes.
remembering.
Yeah.
We definitely are, because I never thought about shamans or
Hmm.
anything. And then I was guided to go to the Amazon jungle and train with shamans. And now I am doing shamanic healing.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
working with the indigenous, and we're recognizing each other. And how do I know how to call in the four directions? I never studied that. Like,
Right.
where is
Right.
all this coming from? And
Right.
so I am really remembering some of my gifts from other lifetimes are kind of awakening in me now.
Yes. Yes. Yeah. Yeah. That's exactly right. Um, I guess, is there anything that you would like to add or talk about, you specifically, like when you're working with someone in a reading, say, not necessarily a healing, but like how do you enter that, or what do you look for? What do you pay attention to in particular for you?
So I'm a structured person, and I used to really be very strict about how I set up my session. And I still am. The structure is very important, calling in my guides and God and saying that my intention is to do no harm and to be an instrument of love and peace, and setting up the safe container. And then I go in, starting to do sort of the healing aspects, checking energy centers of the person's body and scanning, and then also utilizing, I've combined my own recipe, I would say, from
Yeah.
what you've taught me, what I'm remembering, and just different things. And then, it's so funny that you think it's going to go this way, and then you get in, and then all of a sudden, I'm not in charge. All of a sudden, they're like,
Yes.
no, we need you to do this, and we need you to say this. And so then you just surrender and get out of the way. And um, the first couple of times that happened to me where, I was resistant, saying, no, we're supposed to do this. And my guides are like, no, we need to go down this road. And here's
Right.
this vision. So once you surrender and then follow those cues, or those, while you're in that setting, and every time it surprises me, that it's going to resonate with that person,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
so profoundly too, when you follow what they're saying to you. And it's
Yeah.
not about my judgment of what I'm saying or anything that I have to do. You have to really be careful not to get involved and judge what's being said, and just allow the person to receive the information.
Absolutely.
So
Yeah, and that's a lot of the early, no, it's not a battle, but the early idea of, regardless of what I think, doesn't matter, regardless of my experience, it doesn't matter. I sometimes feel like, um, well, I have headphones on now, but those people, like those announcers with the headphones on, and then the information feeds coming in, and I feel like that's what it is for me, because I'm super clairaudient. The information just comes in, and my mind is thinking, oh, I should do this or do that, and like, no, no, do this, do what we're
yeah.
telling you, get out of the way, do what we're telling you. uh, yeah. And we often have no idea where it's going, and that's really kind of what makes the work really fun, because it's always a bigger surprise than we expected, like it goes further than we thought it might, and it's more remarkable what happens.
Yeah, I know. I have a really quick, funny story. When you
Yeah.
first guided me to start doing, I think you saw that I needed a little bit more structure, that you saw that I could be doing better with this technique, and it was the guiding vision.
Mm.
And so I was in my home back in New Jersey, and I said, oh, today I'm going to do a session, and I'm going to utilize what Sara taught me, and I'm going to try to do that guiding vision. And so I, in my mind, and being a human, think that I have to go up in my prayer room and get into meditation and then get the guiding vision. But while I was walking down the stairs to make a cup of tea, I got the
Yeah.
guiding vision, and I go, oh,
Yeah.
that can't be it. And it was Alex Trebek in Jeopardy giving me a message saying,
Hmm.
and how you have to
Hmm.
answer the question with the answer?
What
With a
is,
question.
yeah.
Yeah, what is, and so that's how he was speaking in my ear and telling me that is the answer, right?
Hmm.
And so I said, oh, that can't be it. That's crazy. And so then I went into the session, and I said, well, then they gave me something else after that. I forgot what it is, but it was so profound that I said, okay, this really must be it. And so then the person, I found out, her and her husband are avid Jeopardy
Yeah.
watchers.
Yeah. Yeah.
And
Yeah.
she had asked to receive the answer without me getting involved because I know her personally and she didn't
Right.
want me.
Hmm.
And so I gave her that guiding vision without even tapping into her energy.
Right.
And it was the answer.
Yes.
So
Yeah.
it was, that was profound. I mean,
Yeah.
that was like,
Yeah.
okay, I'm going to do this from now on.
Yeah. That's so cool. Well, there's so many ways. Like I love the guiding vision and messages. Other people are more healers and mediums. Like we are all so needed. Like
Yeah,
bring on the
right
gifts.
now.
The world
Yeah,
needs us. Yeah.
yeah.
Well, thank you, Shan, so much for being with us today. And I will put all your contact information in the written part below, and you'll know about where that is, and people will be able to find you that way. But thank
Yes.
you so much for your time
Yes, and
today.
thank you so much for all that you do for all of us as well, helping us do this work in the world.
Absolutely. Okay. Well,
Thank
thank
you.
you. Thank you.